Okay, now we're going to take a look at the Aptana Studio. Aptana is very similar to Dreamweaver. Basically, this is an editor that will allow you to create HTML documents. We can also create cascading style sheets, CSS files, and eventually we'll be able to affect or change our Joomla should we need to, because we're going to do that a little bit later. Joomla is a content management system that we'll learn about. Right now, I have the Aptana Studio open, so basically, when we open this, it may ask you for directory structures of where the workspace is. That could be anything. The workspace is where it stores all the projects. Aptana is basically going to do everything in projects. So once you have that workspace directory set up, again, it can be anywhere, you'll end up with a file that or a screen that looks something like this. What we're going to do is we're going to basically create a brand new project. We're going to create a new web project. So if you go to the top menu and you click New Web Project, and it'll come up. We'll say we'll create a default project, or we can do the basic web template if you want. But in this case, I'm going to use default project because we're not going to use any particular template. We'll create a project name, so we'll call this first project, or actually, I'll change that to match the exercise. Exercise. Okay, so now we're going to be asked to create a project name, and so what we're going to do is we're going to call this project 1. And I can use the default location, and you'll notice that that's basically the workspace that you had created when you first installed it. If you're not sure about that, just send me an email and I'll give you a hand with that, or I'll put up a new video for that. So when I click finish, it's basically now preparing everything. Now you won't see any new change, but you will see over here to the left under the Application Explorer this thing called Project 1, and this is our project that we've basically created. It will give you a list of recent projects that you had worked on or that you're going to work on. Once we're done with that, we're basically going to create a new, again, and now this is going to be a new file. Okay, and this is going to be under Project 1, and we will create this as our students.html file. And this will be the file that you guys will, technically create for yourself for your exercise. So I'm going to give you a little hand with that right now. So this is the file. You'll notice the wonderful little black screen here. And basically, I'm going to begin typing some of the items. You'll notice that when you start typing, it will actually give you the actual codes. Let me do that again for you so that you can see. If I type in the less than sign, you'll see it will give you a bunch of tags that you can work. And the images here stand for Google Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer. It tells you whether or not it is standard and whether it works under those browsers, and that's always good to know. Right now, we're going to try and be totally cross-platform across all browsers, so we shouldn't have a problem. Once you type in a few letters, it will actually come up. So I'll type in my HTML, and you'll notice it finishes it for me and gives me the tag, the corresponding close tag right here. I'll hit the return key a couple of times there so that I can create some space. That's a personal preference of mine, but it's actually, I think, a good one. So I'll open a body tag as well, and I'll add some space in. And again, it basically creates the slash body. And then what I'll do is I will put a name, student, and I will say Alex Polias. And then I will add another thing. We'll try a little boldface sentence. So this is my boldface sentence. Again, here I haven't done anything with it, but if I move the cursor in front and I do again the tag and I put a B, you'll see that there's a boldface, and it tells you displays the text of the element as boldface. Unfortunately, I put the close brace there, the close tag there, which I didn't need. You'll also notice a little bit to the left that there's a little exclamation point that says, hey, I got a problem over here. I'm not really sure what you want me to do because it doesn't look like it's complete. So I'm going to close the tag, and then my little tag piece is gone from there. Don't worry about this one here. Should insert missing title element. It's saying you should have something else, but we're not going to worry about that yet. We'll deal with all those later. So that's my boldface sentence. I can then put in my H1 if I would like, heading level 1, and say this is header 1. And then I'll come down and I'll add a header 2, and so forth. And then I'm closing that, and that's done. Whoops, a little small little error there. I'll just fix that, H2, and close that out. So now I'm done with that, and I'm going to save this. File, save. Now it's at this point, if I really wanted to, I can actually go to this users Alexander Polias documents and actually find this file. So I know now that I'm in Firefox, I'm going to basically open up a file, and I'm basically going to go into my home directory there. I'm going to go into documents, And then I'm going to find my Aptana Studio 3 workspace. And again, it matches this up here. Here's my project 1 that I'm working with and my student HTML. I can click open and it will open up within the browser, and then you'll see that it renders the file. And this is a way you can quickly test to see if this works. Later on, this won't work for things like Joomla and WordPress, but this works right now for all of our HTML. It's a nice, easy way to do it. However, what I want to do is I want to show you how we're going to upload it to your server. Now, to upload it to your server, what we're going to do is we're going to publish it to your server. Now, you have to have the credentials, which is the ID and password, so that it makes a connection to your server and will upload it on your server. If we right mouse click on the student HTML, you'll see a key here for publish. And it says run web deployment wizard. Okay, so this is basically going to go through the steps to at least publish it to our website. And again, if you're using the one from the host, it's a little bit easier because it's going to follow exactly. If you're not using the one from the host that I gave you, then you'll just need to know what the FTP credentials are. That's why I gave you the slide a little bit on FTP so you understand what it is. It's just how to transfer files. So what we're going to do is we're going to select FTP and we click next. Okay, after you click next, you're going to get a connection. What we should do is we're going to change the protocol from FTP to FTPS. And we can give this site, a name, so it's an easy name, website server. Changing the protocol to FTPS. Now, FTPS, the difference between FTP and FTPS is one is secure, so the information is encrypted. When it actually transmits the username and password, it will do that encrypted, so you're not in too much jeopardy. That's for a security class. In the server, you're going to put the domain that you were given by the host, so whatever domain that was. Webdomain.com. Your username would be your user ID, password, whatever the password was that you created with the host. And then your remote path will be, if it's this host, it'll be public HTML_HTML, which is where all of your directories are. Technically, this could be set to any directory, but this is the directory for the hosting company that I recommended. I just happen to know that that's the case. With another hosting company, it may be different. You'll just need to know where the root level web directory is. Again, if you run into a problem, just send me a note. I'll see what I can help you with. It's going to ask you for an SSL method. This is the secure socket layer method. This is part of the encryption. You just put it as explicit AUTH for auth TLS SSL. Your passive connect mode and port 21. You don't need to do anything else. You can actually, at this point, you can click test and actually test the information. To make sure the connection, if it's good, you will actually see something in the console down here at the bottom that'll basically say that you have now logged in, your current directory is public HTML, and it's ready to go. It'll actually say goodbye because this is just a test connection. What we do want you to do is you're going to automatically sync changes with the remote site. So what will happen is on this project is when you make a change, we will actually click a sync so that we will when we publish the documents, it will sync all the files in your project that you have up to the server. So any files that are changed, it will automatically do. When we're done, we basically will click OK. And once that's done, it will actually say uploading. You'll see a bunch of files come across, and in this case, 2 items uploaded, 0 folders created because there was none. We click OK, and it's basically done at that point. At this time, what will happen is that your file has been uploaded, and now you should be able to see that file by going into Firefox and putting in the URL, which will be the domain with the web page that we created. We hit enter and the file has come up, and that means that the web page that we put is now on the server. So we've basically created our first web page. We've put it up to the server using FTP. So we've learned the basics of Aptana, and we're all set for this module, and we'll see you for the next one.